All right, my beautiful Scorpios, if you want to go deep, let's go deep. So, welcome everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cindy. I am the modern day spiritual advisor. I use multiple modalities, including astrology, tarot, mediumship, all kinds of stuff to help you on your path. So, my gorgeous ones, for October 2018, I'm going to talk a little bit about Pluto. I'm going to do a Pluto series. I'm doing the retrograde series. And I will be releasing those to one video on Venus today. So Venus has gone retrograde today, but we're going to talk a little bit about Pluto first because Pluto is your soul's evolution, discovery, yeah, and where you leave your legacy, really. So, but that's where it's placed in your natal chart. Pluto has been transiting in this area of your mind. Your mind. So, 2008, so let me say before then, you came into this world very pure, an old soul, but forgetting a lot because you made yourself forget a lot because you have to discover this part of you, right? You're wanting to discover these things. And so, you came into this world and things were taken from you. And let me just say this for many Scorpios. The most heinous, horrible things that could happen to people happen to Scorpios. They just do. It's part of your soul's path because you can understand it. That's what you want to understand, right? And so come 2008, by 2008, you were probably shy, reserved, let me say that you understood by that time not to say what you really wanted to say because maybe society can't take it, maybe the people around you can't take it, maybe your family and friends can't take it. So I'm just going to not say what I need to say. I'm just going to not say my truth. I'm going to not communicate that to the world. And then 2008 comes and you realize, well, that's not working either. And so this is when Pluto began to transit into that area of your life. And being in this area of your life, you knew there was more to this. You had this knowing that there was more, deeper things that you needed to understand. And so you went on a quest. And so your quest has been about the truth, the truth. Why do we act the way that we do? Why can't I say what I needed to say or need to say? Why my truth matters. And so 2008, 2009 came along and it was almost like you were vomiting out communication, vomiting out all those things that you weren't able to say before. Maybe you got angry enough that you did it. Maybe things turned around in a way in situations in your life that you were able to do this, but you sort of went all out, right? And so by going all out, which is understandable because you hadn't gotten to do it before, and again, this is not everybody because this is a general reading, but this is for Sun, Moon, Ascending. So, and you have other aspects. And it's especially important when Pluto aspects something because Pluto works with something else, right? And so depending on who it's looking at, what planet it's looking at, what house it's looking at, will either be more intense, less intense, more things come up, less things come up, right? And so on this quest you've been on since 2008, you've come to this point where you're sort of understanding, and this is probably why I haven't talked about this before, is that you're sort of understanding that the truth, well, first you had to find your truth, right? So what was your truth? It was buried. It wasn't able to come out. And so what was your truth? So you've been searching for your truth, but you wanted to do that in a way that you had sound information. So you researched and you understood and you went to classes and you tried to discover and you're, doing seminars and you're going to school and you're trying new careers and you're doing all of that, right? And this is all in a way so that your truth comes out. I'm trying to self-discover. My soul needs to discover my truth, right? And so you're going to be at a point where eventually you understand that the truth, because most of your truth during this time has come through there since, but during this time, your truth you were discovering was someone else's truth. Or maybe your truth you thought mattered more than someone else's truth. Or if my truth is the truth, then how can someone else's truth be the truth? And so what you're going to eventually understand is that the truth is a matter of your truth and someone else's truth, and they can be in the same space and time, right? That's what you understand. And the only way to know the truth for you is to go and understand, go by your truth, right? That you haven't finished understanding or learning yet. You're still discovering that. You're still trying to figure that out. You're still trying to figure out, can my truth work with someone else's truth and it be just as valid and us be in the same space-time? And it can. You're just going to discover how that's going to come about for you. And then so you get into this, well, that's overwhelming, and how do I do that? And how is my truth? What is, then you get back into that, what is my truth and what is their truth? And if their truth is the truth and my truth is the truth, how does both of those matter and how do they connect, right? And so that's sort of what you're going to understand. I'm going to talk more about this in the Pluto series. So retrograde. Retrograde is about amending, revising, understanding, reworking, right? And so this being in that, what you thought you knew, what you thought was your reality, what you thought made sense, once again, because in 2008 it wasn't making sense anymore, and then you got it to make sense again, and then in this retrograde you're wondering why it doesn't make sense again, right? Because you got it to make sense, but then you were seeing that it wasn't making sense again. And so in this retrograde, you were learning how to make sense of that. You were and that's just tweaking, revising, editing, reorganizing, right? And so now that Pluto is direct, because remember, Pluto is your ruler. Pluto is in your house. Pluto is the 8th house. Pluto is you, right? And so if anybody can go deep into this, you can go deep into this. You're used to going deep with your emotions. That is not what you're having to understand. You know how to do emotions. What you're having to understand is your soul's mind and how that works in reality with the world. That makes sense? Okay, so I'll drop the Pluto thing. I just wanted to go over that, help you understand that, give you a little taste of what's coming for the Pluto series. Where we'll get into really deep stuff. So that's going on right now. In today, October 6th, we have Venus retrograde. So Venus retrograding in your house today. You are for the next 3 months. It goes direct in November, but you won't finish everything up until December. So the last 2 or 3 weeks we were in shadow. You should have had a sort of a clue of what was coming. And for you, remember, what's your truth? Who are the people around you? Why are they here? Who are you going to let go of? Who are you going to bring it closer to you? What are you willing to do? And this, because it's in your first house, is in a lot of areas of your life. So what's been focused on in your life? Has it been relationship with money? Has it been relationship with career? Has it been relationship with family? Has it been relationship with friends? Has it been relationship with a spouse or a lover? What is that that's been focused on? Because when Venus retrogrades in your house, this is about revising, reworking, understanding. If you look here, it's getting closer to Jupiter. It's not going to get close until after December, but you're having to rework these things. So I will say, when Venus moves retrograde in your house, I would be very aware if you're going to make changes to your physical self, like buying a new outfit, or cutting your hair, or changing your makeup, or doing something. Because when Venus retrogrades, it could cause you to not see things the way that you normally see things. So you may buy the outfit, and then you get home and you're like, I don't really like this outfit. Why did it look better in the store, but it looks horrible now? So you could find yourself doing that. So anything that's beautifying, anything that's, like makeup or anything that's going to beautify or anything that's going to change or any like your appearance, really, really take note. It's not that you can't do it. It's that maybe you want to do it a couple of times before you actually make the purchase. Said purpose. Actually make the purchase. Maybe you want to check it out in a different way, look at it, maybe go look at it and then leave it alone and then come back and look at it again and leave it alone and come back. Like, it's about reorganizing. And so oftentimes if you make a purchase very quickly in a retrograde, especially in a first house retrograde, your house, you're going to have to redo it. So just be aware of that. Of course, relationships, money, luck, any of that is being reworked, reorganized. Again, I'll have the Venus retrograde. So it's in your first house. It's in your physicalness. It is on your path, the physical path of you, where things come about, where things need to be reworked. We all have Mars squaring. So there is something here that's a tension, that's needing to get done, that you're needing to look at that you hadn't looked at before, or that you chose not to look at before. So there's some tension here. This Mars is in this house of making you feel secure, safe, happy, peaceful. So there's something here that you're having to rework, whether that's a relationship, whether it's like your schedule, whatever it is, it's trying to make you feel comfortable, safe, and secure. With this Venus, you're going to have to relook at this. How much do I matter compared to how much the person in my life or the things in my life or the coworkers in my life or the family in my life, how much do they matter? Just because you matter doesn't mean they matter any less, but you have to see how much you matter, right? Does that make sense? So there is this thing going on here. That's today. That's been since yesterday. It's going to be for a couple of days. Then we have, on the 8th, we have this new moon. So I know with the moon, I know with Sun and Mercury in here, and if you see, here's the Sun, here's Mercury. Of course, on this day, on the 8th, there's the new moon. But the Sun and Mercury, you already have deep dreams, Scorpio. Sometimes you don't remember them because, it would kind of drive you nuts if you remembered all your dreams, because you dream so deeply, because you go to those places and you're really trying to work stuff out. And so for your own benefit, to keep you sane in this world, you won't remember a lot of it until it's time to remember and it's activated, right? And so when Mercury and the Sun activate in your 12th house, you're getting some clarity, you're getting some messages, and it's coming slowly. And this is so it doesn't disrupt you so much. Remember, a lot of this for your soul's journey is about you becoming emotionally stable. To do that, you're having to go through your mind. Does that make sense? Your soul's mind, the center of you, okay? Some of you will understand that. Some of you will not yet. So we have this new moon in Libra. Libra wants everybody to get what they want. Libra wants diplomacy, or Libra has diplomacy. But Libra wants everybody and kind of knows that everybody can get what they want. And so it's about communication again. So you may find during this new moon that you get a clear vision, a clear dream, or something comes to you where you see it clearly of how to work this out, okay? That's that 12th house, but you're going to know it because it's a new beginning, okay? New moon, new beginning, right? Now, yeah, new moon, new beginning, sorry, because there was another date I was going to look at. So new moon, new beginning, there's a message. And I'll have a new moon, full moon video on that. So that's the 8th. Then on the 10th or 11th, so all of these depend like 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, 11, kind of depends on where you are in the world. So on the 10th and 11th, or on the 10th or 11th, and then again on the 23rd through the 30th, you are going to have, where's the 10th? See, for me, it's the 11th. Yeah. So On the 10th or 11th, you have 4 planets in your house. This house is being reworked. It is going to get some stuff done. You are having some breakthroughs this month, okay? But you have to let go of what no longer serves you, rework some things, have some things that, I'm seeing they're showing me where you will rework things because that's the way society says and that's what you should do, and da 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 da. And then emotionally, you're distraught, right? And so I'm seeing that this is going to be a very different way for you. This is going to be, this is what needs to get done because I want it to get done, because I want some peace of mind, because I want some joy in my life, because I want a partner to come in, because I am ready. That makes sense? That's what I'm seeing for you guys in this first house, okay? It is imperative that your GPS right now is about your truth, okay? Even though someone around you could have a truth as well. That's what you're trying to figure out, okay? So we have Venus in there. Venus is retrograde. We're going to have Mercury there. We have the moon talking to Jupiter, okay? So you have the moon talking to Jupiter, and then you have Venus and Mercury there. So, you know, Mercury comes with the message. It's also the processor. It helps you process, understand, figure this out because it comes with the message. So on the 10th, 11th, you're going to be reworking. You're going to come to some understanding. You're going to be expanding this house. You guys know, to me, when a planet gets in the 23rd through the 30th degree, that's when it begins to give its gifts. That's when it begins to expel what it needs to expel. So Jupiter being at the 24th degree at this time is expanding this house, is bringing you the gifts that you worked so hard for, is helping you, is saying, look, you did good because you went in deep and you figured it out and you did the work, right? And so with the moon there, there's something emotionally stable for you that's coming, that's going to be produced, okay? Again, on the 23rd and 22nd and 23rd for some of you, through the 30th, this is going to happen. So where you had the moon with Jupiter, you are now going to have Mercury with Jupiter, who comes with the message, and then you're going to have the sun with Venus. So that means there's going to be some light shown, some alignment made with this way that you're going to deal with relationships, with this way that you're going to deal with money, with this way that you're going to deal with you, right? There's going to be some light shown. There's going to be some alignment. There's going to be some clarity, right? And then there's going to be a message here. So those two times, the 10th, 11th, or the 23rd through the 30th, these things could be coming about for you. And because it's in your first house, it depends on what you're focused on. What have you been focused on? What have you been working at? What have you been doing, right? So, excuse me. Then on the 24th, we have the full moon. So the full moon is in Taurus. This is really, really, really important for you. So, because this is also it's got your Uranus here. So Uranus is trying to make this house very stable for you. Uranus is trying to make relationships very stable for you, and it will be doing this over the next 7.5 years, right? But with this full moon, it's opposite of the sun, if you look here. So the full moon is going to shine some light because it's got the sun shining on it. So it's going to be in this area of relationships. That could be relationships to money, relationships to a lover, relationships to a partner, relationships in themselves, relationship to your, whoever is around you, whatever situation is around you. There is going to be some illumination shown where you couldn't see before. But this is so that you can move in the direction that you want to move and finally either release those things that no longer serve you or bring them closer to you because you're willing to do the work with it, right? So that's the opposition here. That's what a full moon means. With endings comes new beginnings. So as you release the old, you're going to be given something new so that you can move forward on your path. Does that make sense? And then the last thing, we have this on the 29th or 30th. we have this grand trine. So this grand trine has to do with Jupiter, but you have Mercury trining your north node, right? And so Mercury's bringing a message about your path, but then you have this trine. Okay, so you have this grand trine, which is a divinely guided gift in your sign, in Pisces and in Cancer. So this is all on an emotional level. So for a lot of you, I feel if you get this, so let me say this because they just told me. It's not that you won't understand it, what I'm saying, and I have said throughout this video, especially talking about Pluto, it's that your ego gets in the way and your emotion gets in the way and you're like, no, that's not the way I see it. So nope, that's not the way it is, right? So if you can get past that part, because a lot of you will, a lot of you do, a lot of you have seen me many times and know, sometimes she freaks out, she yells, sometimes she doesn't. So if you can get past that I don't do it because I want to hurt you, I do it sometimes because you need to hear it in a different way and maybe I need to shock you into it. So if you can get past that, then this grand trine is here to make you feel stable, secure, better, feel relief. You're going to feel some relief because that's what I just felt. I felt like I could take a deep breath. And everybody's situation is different. We all have scenarios. We all have different scenarios depending on your chart, what your path is, what you came here to do, and then what you're focused on, because that's free will. It can play out in many different ways. But if you hear the underlying of what I'm saying, it's relief. It's feeling better if you're listening and accepting and receiving. That makes sense? Okay. So, I'm not going to be able to, I don't know that I'll be able to, because I'm like on this video, I'm like probably 30 seconds behind. It's just kind of the way that it is. So I'm going to pull some cards. I'll try to show them, but I don't know that the timeline is going to be right with the video. But I'll talk to you and tell you about it. So I'm just going to pull 3 cards. And don't worry, for those of you that are really, really like tarot, I'm going to be doing pick a card. Plus I'll have the more deep stuff on my website. I'm just running behind, so I have to do all these other things first, and then I'll be doing my website stuff. I'll be doing the download, so you can get a download. Just download and listen. All right, so let's talk about Scorpio. So what's your base this month? What's your base? What's your base? Let's see what your base is. What is your base? So you have the King of Wands. Can you see that? So your base is being the King of Wands. Your base is being fearless. Not that you are a fearful person, because you're not. But the King of Wands is a beautiful king. To me, it's not gender specific. This is about character. So this king goes in with confidence and does and succeeds at what he wants. The issue is the king has to want it, right? And so if there's something that you are wanting, you are not going to fail at it. Know that, okay? That's what this king is telling me. You're not only going to have the courage, you're going to have the wherewithal, you're going to have the clarity, and you're going to have the energy to be able to do this, right? And that's what's coming for you in the month of October. So whatever situation comes up, whatever is going on, know that if you want this, it can happen. Now, let me say this. If we're talking about a relationship that you have needed to let go, if you were talking about a relationship that you think you can manipulate, That is not going to work because that is not with your alignment. Your true alignment is that I want to be safe, stable, secure, happy, and understand my truth. So what is that, right? If that person is not in that, but you were refusing to let that go, then that's not in alignment with what you're truly wanting, right? And so that means a different person or a different love or a different situation has to come in to help you feel that, right? And some of you know what I mean because some of you have been stubborn about not letting go of someone because we all have our ego for whatever reason. So then we have the Page of Cups, the Temperance, and the Two of Pentacles. So the Page of Cups brings news of this person, and this, some of you, this is you, and some of you, this is a person coming, okay? Because I see the Page of Cups with the news. This is news felt on an emotional level. We did talk about this in the chart where there is some emotional relief. There's some emotional release and relief coming to you. But there's news. This is going to come in the form of news. News, Mercury has been highlighted a lot in your chart today, so I feel like it's coming with news. I feel like some of you have been waiting for this news. I feel like some of you have been waiting for this news and didn't even know you were waiting for this news. Others of you, I felt like you knew the news was coming. You were trying to figure out when it was coming, but it's coming. So then you have the Temperance. So this is very interesting because the Temperance has to do with taking what you know from the other worlds, taking what you know from your higher self, taking what you know from the other dimensions, and seeing those as a reality, but you actually bringing them forth into reality, because there are many realities, there are many truths, there are many of that. So what is it that you want to bring? So with this news, it means, what am I going to bring? When I get this news, what am I going to do with it? Am I just going to sit on it? Am I just going to sit on it and judge it? Or am I going to sit on it, take a good look at it, and then make the action needed to help me, right? And then you have the Two of Pentacles. So some of you want to do this thing, but you feel like you can't because how can it fit in my schedule? How can this person fit in my life? How can this job fit in my schedule and me be able to spend time with my family? How can I? Like, you're trying to weigh the options. And so I feel like once you make the decision, you will be trying to figure out how to make this an option in your life, how to bring this to your life. That's the Two of Pentacles, how to bring this to your life. With it being the Two of Pentacles, I'll tell you right now, both those pentacles that you see in this Two of Pentacles, they have the potential to grow into something big. But that's kind of up to you. What are you going to do about it, right? So, it's kind of up to you, my gorgeous Scorpios. I'm going to let you go with that. I love you, love you, love you. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I will be talking to you soon.